Gaffer, after a great one at the weekend, I take it's just a case of asking for more of the same on Friday against Wimbledon.
Yeah, of course. It's a feel-good factor around because it was a good victory and a good occasion for us all on Saturday. But football's football. You quickly move on, and the next game is the biggest, and that's at Wimbledon. It was a good game there last year. From two decent teams at the time, but we came off as losers. We need to put that right.
Yeah, and obviously after putting in such an effort to get the 3-0 win on Saturday, how important is this week for recovery, because there is 2 games in quick succession coming up as well?
Yeah, of course we've got to manage the load correctly for the players. I had an additional day off, yesterday, other than the injured that were coming in. But other than that, we have a good session today, a good blowout, work on certain aspects, and then take it into hopefully Friday's game.
Yeah. How important is that continuity at this point when you've had a good result of that to keep things almost similar to the build-up against Bradford, to make sure you are getting the best out of players?
Yeah, I think it's just it's steady away. Of course, with a bit of feel-good factor, it's good for everyone. But no one's going to get ahead of themselves. There's 7 games to play, and we're all very aware that it's a big couple of games coming up that we still want to be in with the fight towards the end of the season, and the next 2 games are very important to us, that we're still in that fight.
Yeah, and obviously going away to a team that are battling right among us in terms of where we are in the league. How important is your sort of faith and belief in the players from what they've shown on the road this season, that they can get results? Probably one of the best teams in the league at getting results as well.
Yeah, well, I think the lads between themselves believe in themselves as a unit, certainly away from home. And obviously it was good news to finally, do well at home and mirror what we've been doing away. But we know it's going to be a tough prospect on Friday. We've been watching a lot of the Wimbledon coverage, and we know from last year that you've got to manage the occasion, because the fans are very good. They get behind them, and so we've got to stay calm, composed, as we have done in a lot of away games this season. So more of the same, but we have to obviously show as much detail as possible to the players without overcomplicating anything, and not be daunted by any prospect.
Yeah. And you made a few changes on Saturday, bringing the likes of Levi Sutton and Jeremy Sivian, who've done very well. That must make your decisions even harder, moving towards Friday in team selection.
Yeah, it will, but it's very welcome. Having good performers do well. I thought they excelled, those 2 on Saturday in what was a must-win game for us, and so the lads have answered their own questions there in terms, and should give them belief. We just want a very competitive squad. That competition for places just does, as I always say, drive up the standard of performance, or it should do. And so, good squad to choose from.
Yeah. Obviously, a couple of lads still out injured. Are you closer to getting any of them back, maybe for the bench, or even starting on Friday?
Well, we're hoping so. There's a couple that have returned to training. That came for extra training yesterday, and so up in the load with them, and it's obviously a confidence issue with them. They need to go out 100% in training before we put them back into action, so that they're happy and confident in their own bodies. But certainly the players that we've been discussing recently, about coming into the squad, don't half strengthen us again.